What is up, party people?
Maybe I did, it just wasn't his lifetime. I ain't fine, and tell me when it's the right time for me to handle my biz. That's what it is. And if I did slack for the shit that I plan to ride with, doing it to be something that can never be ruined. You would be a choice. If I ever ended less than enough, would you still accept the respect and just rest of the love that I give to you? I'm not a big guru. I just want to know how to get through to you. Do you want to find out? Just leave me looking White House, eyes looking cried out. Why don't we take this little combo to my house? Huh? Dude, you sound desperate. What happened if you end up getting rejected? They say I'm the strangest border between true love and restraining order. What if she's not that into you? Maybe she's not that into you. Nigga, this not no interview. Maybe she's not that into you. Day after day I get visions of us. Then quick visions of you not giving a fuck. Nigga, what's up? I say to the mirror. Why did you just get upset and start twisting stuff up? My own reflection kinda laughs. Why is that? Cause I just kinda laugh. I'm trying to get insight for this guy in the mirror. And his sight is my sight. I think I got him tight. Smoking mirrors, windows surrounded in fire.
I'm gonna skip to the outro of this shit.
If I told you why my mind designed such a fucking scene, you would scream and seemingly call me a liar, but you insist. Shit.
Oh yeah, there's something I wanted to test on this motherfucker too.
On the way, feel like a Florida day. On the 4th of May, or away for a quarter. Dude, you sound desperate. What happened if you end up getting rejected? They say I'm the strangest border between true love and restraining order. What if she's not that into you? Maybe she's not that into you. Nigga, this not no interview. Maybe she's not that into you. Here goes.
If I hear no, I'ma sit for 2 weeks, feel like a weirdo.
Probably won't want to hear those songs that we see on TV. Is that weirdo on? I feel no strong ass bounce at the club. When I see your face, I go from mouth to shrub. I doubt she's gonna bother you, she ain't all loud. Me, I'm just a street kid. Sweet when speaking, and when an even, if they don't listen to me, such a gentle cat. Shit is whack, but then again, it's a bigger track. It's a race song, really great songs. But if I only had you in the kitchen with the apron, no makeup on. Dude, you sound desperate. What happened if you end up getting rejected? They say I'm the strangest border between true love and restraining order. What if she's not that into you? Maybe she's not that into you. Nigga, this not no interview. Maybe she's not that into you.
All right, gang. Welcome. I'm gonna try something here. All right. So Jack will be here momentarily, but I did want to test something because I feel like we're leaving a lot of content on the table when it comes to videos and playback and shit like that. So I'm going to try and see if I download a video and we're not streaming the video.
What did you say about my brother? He's not as straight as my brother.
Okay. All right. Let's see something. Let's see. All right, let me see something here. Okay. So I wanted some like newsworthy shit. Maybe I can still get that. Let's see here. Now that I know what I'm doing. All right, how we doing, buddy?
Good.
I'm trying
How about
to do
you?
something here. Because
Yeah, I just saw
I
a
want
minute
to
ago.
see.
I heard what you were talking about.
Okay, here we go. All right, let me see something here. All right, let me see if this will work here. All right, so here's the first one. Let's see. I'm gonna share. Is it going to let me share that? I don't think it's going to let me share that, is it? Yes, it will. Okay. So let's try this first. Okay, let's see if it pops up here. Okay. All right. Now, let's see if this plays choppy or not. Let's see.
What did you say about my brother? That's not a trait, that's my brother.
Okay.
It's not horrible.
All right.
It's not
Now,
horrible.
it's you can like it's not the worst thing in the world. All right. Let's try this one here because this is like a newsworthy clip. This is Trump talking about the drones. So let's see if this. All right. Let's see.
What did you say about my
Oh, it's the
brother?
same one.
That's my brother.
Did it not download? Download. Okay. Open. Okay, let's see. So this is Trump.
I'm going to
talking about
give
the
you a
drones.
report on drones about one day into the administration, because I think it's ridiculous that they're not telling you about what's going on with the drones. And it's not only with me. Glenn was telling me today that in Virginia they have drones all over the place too, and nobody's reporting it. I don't know why they're not. Do you want to say something about that?
Just one quick comment, which is we are home to the largest naval base in the world in Quantico, and we house a lot of the SEAL teams and have a huge national security infrastructure. And now for 2 years running, we have had drone incursion over secure airspace, and we still don't know why. And I think that's absolutely unacceptable. And I think President Trump and the new leadership coming in, I think will work diligently to understand who's behind this and what we do in order to stop the digital surveillance of all of our secure infrastructure.
I can tell you this. When we were dealing with a terrorist attack in New Orleans, we had drones being flown over our nuclear reactors in Louisiana. And we brought that attention to the FAA. We've been asking the FAA to give these states the ability to mitigate these drones. And it's sitting on some bureaucrat's desk. And then that's real.
Welcome to America.
Nobody knows. They don't want to talk about it. Go ahead, Governor. You're going to say?
I was just going to say we have drones in Wyoming flying over our infrastructure as well. And it's incredibly frustrating that we not only have no way of knowing what it is, but nobody knows how to deal with them.
They don't want to talk about it, and nobody knows why. They don't want to talk about it. That could be us sending drones. I hope that's the case, us doing it and doing research, and maybe they don't want to talk about it from that standpoint. I hope it's not an enemy, but we're going to find out on the 21st, the day after. You have to give me a little time for the inauguration, but shortly thereafter, we'll give you a report on it. We'll tell you exactly what it is. They know, and it's very strange that they aren't talking about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on my end, it played perfectly.
Yeah, it did for me too. It's not bad.
Okay. So on the other ones we were doing, on your end, was it choppy like when it was playing?
No, it was pretty good. It was because I know how choppy it is when we've tried with Twitter and websites.
Yeah. That's
And it was
that's
yeah. I
okay,
worked
because that's what I was asking. So like previously, like when we played videos before, you could tell it was choppy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll have to watch the playback and see if that actually worked because it played well. I mean, because I was keeping an eye on the screen, on the podcast screen as well as the video. They seem to be synced up. So
Yeah.
I was thinking that maybe the issue was that it was from us streaming and then also streaming a video. So I was thinking maybe if we download it and play it like that way it's not pulling off of our connection to do that.
Yeah.
So maybe we figured something out. I'm not sure. Hopefully. But we are hours away from the first wild card game. Wild card weekend kicks off as usual with the Texans. They kind of been given the dog shit time slot of the first game. Like whenever they're in, they're like, "Yeah, we'll just serve you up first, dude. Get out of here."
Starts at what time?
4:30 Eastern.
Oh, okay.
So them and the Chargers. I took the Chargers -3, just for a couple reasons, honestly. The first reason being, I think that it's time that the Chargers make some noise in the playoffs.
You know, I think they've always been a good team, at least as long as Herbert's been there. It just sucks when you're overshadowed by Kansas City.
Yeah, they're in a rough division. They're kind of the situation that like the Bills and the Dolphins and
the Jets.
Sometimes the Jets were in with
for 20 years.
Yeah. So you just have that juggernaut, dude, and it's unfortunate.
I'm so glad that the Bears took stupid Mitch Trubisky over Patrick Mahomes.
Yo, could you imagine? Oh my God, that would be horrible for you and everybody else in the division. But yeah,
now, I mean, barring anything crazy, the next several years, at least the next 5 years, and barring some crazy unforeseen stuff, the NFC North is going to be wide open. I mean, I think honestly, regardless of our quarterback situation, whoever we decide on keeping long term, I think it's going to be wide open. I mean, maybe even with the Bears in another year, they were in half their games. You know, they just couldn't fucking finish them.
Yeah, they just couldn't close it out. Yeah, I mean, they weren't getting destroyed all year. I mean, there was a couple games where they got fucked up, but not nothing crazy. Like that's the reason that I mean, I'm not sure if the Broncos would win straight up, but I took the points on them. It was plus 8.5 for tomorrow against the Bills because they haven't lost a game by more than one score all year.
Yeah,
they've been in every fucking game. So 8.5, that was like free money to me. So I took it. I may do another one to hedge myself a little bit because for tonight, I took the Ravens -9.5, but I could see the Steelers staying in it too.
I could, yeah.
So, I mean, basically 10 points. That's a lot of points. I mean, they're division rivals. They know each other well. So, you know.
I think Mike Tomlin is after Belichick left last year, he's like the longest tenured coach in the NFL, 2007.
Yeah.
So
he's like never had a losing season.
Yeah, he's always 500's been his worst season, and I think he kind of whoever he brings in can make them look good, you know what I mean? So they're a team that no matter what, you can never really count them out.
No. They're always going to be in it to the end. They never go fucking now it'd be 5-12 or whatever, but
it's crazy because when they got Tomlin, they took him off of our staff. He was the offensive coordinator, I believe.
Wow. It's kind of wild because his teams had the identity of defense.
I think I can never remember him if he was offense or defense. He was he was defensive coordinator for us for 1 year.
I was about to say because his teams have always had that identity of defense, and plus the Steelers too. Their whole identity as an organization is defense.
He was on Brad Childress's staff.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, he was. Yeah.
To me, Brad Childress was a very mediocre coach. He won a few playoff games and stuff, but to me, he was very mediocre.
He had a good staff though.
Yeah, and he had Brett Favre for that 1 year.
True. Yeah, true. But yeah, I mean, he's one of those guys that always had a good coaching staff around him to make himself look a little better than he was.
And Zimmer, when we had Mike Zimmer, in the beginning he was good, but as the years went on, I think I kind of just got tired of him because he was such a conservative play caller. That's not the NFL anymore. Now you got to have these fucking crazy nerds like O'Connell or Sean McVay or some shit. You can't. It's not running the ball to wear the defense down every play.
Dan Campbell, I was reading some shit. He's 30% higher than the next coach that that goes for it on fourth and medium, 72% of the time he's going for it. It's but you have to understand too, it's a give and a take, because that's the reason that they lost against the fucking Niners in the NFC Championship last year, was because of his play calling. I understand being aggressive, I get it, but there's a time and a place, and you don't do it in the NFC Championship when he did it.
If it's a one regular season game,
yeah,
it's not that anyone can afford to lose any games, but it's you can take a risk in a regular season game,
week 8 or something.
Yeah. And then
you don't do it in the final quarter before you have a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
And then either way, if you fail or succeed at it, it's a learning lesson. So now know, oh, I shouldn't really do that, or oh, it worked. We can keep working on this and use it again in the future.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, I do respect it in a way. I respect the balls that it takes to do the shit that he does sometimes. Yeah. But it doesn't mean that it's always the right call, bro. Sometimes you do have to be yo, I trust my defense to get the ball back for me, or a 3-and-out or something. And plus, defenses score. It's not like it always falls on the feet of the offense, dude. Yeah. Trust your defense sometimes. The defense is not horrible.
Last week when we played Detroit, it felt like most of that game until the very end, we were only down by 1 score.
Yeah.
But it felt like we were down 30-0 because we just could not capitalize on anything. And
I kept waiting for it to click, because like you said, your defense kept you in it most of the game. All right, bro, this is going to be the drive that they put something together.
I swear I've watched so many games like that in my life, especially the Vikings. I mean, we went for it too many times when we should have just kicked field goals.
I agree.
And got the points. We went for it 2 or 3 more times than we should have, and we could have just got the points and been right there, been tied, but it just wasn't our night. And we had, I think it's right in any sport, like we always talk about, that once in a while, you just have to lay an egg for that learning experience.
Yeah, and I feel like it happens more than it should. But sometimes when a team plays another team, they try to take on their identity. Yeah. And be they can do it, we can too. You guys are not the team built to go for it on these crazy, you know what I mean? Like you say, you should have took the points, right? Yeah. And it felt like you were trying to push Detroit's face in the mud and be yeah, you ain't shit, we could do it too. Yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? That's how it felt a little bit. So if there is a rematch next week, which I hope there is, I hope there is a rematch next week. And if there is, I think you're going to see a completely different game. You're going to see two completely different teams.
Because the last time, back in the fall, we only lost because we failed on a 2-point conversion.
Right. Yeah. Right. So I think we might have a new, a brand new rivalry brewing. I mean, obviously you guys are rivals, but the heat got turned up on the rivalry the past couple of years.
Yeah, because the rivalry really used to be Minnesota and Green Bay, Minnesota and Chicago, and
right.
All those years the the Lions were bottom feeders, so they're not anymore. So it's definitely really heated up, at least the last, basically ever since Goff got there. I mean, they were pretty bad Goff's first year, but after that, they've been in playoff contention every year, even though they didn't make it 2022 on the last week of the season.
Yeah. My upset for the weekend is Packers over Eagles. I mean, I don't know, like we said last week or Wednesday or whenever we talked about it, but it just feels like, they have played this season, but it was week 1. You're a completely different team. Then both teams are completely different at this point. So I don't know. The Packers are always lucky in the playoffs, at least for a certain, maybe first, second round kind of shit, and then it falls apart. Yeah. But they usually get a first round win. So, and plus 2-1 odds on the Pack. I mean, they did win 11 fucking games, and it's not like that there's scrubs. You know what I mean? You're not walking in as an 8-win team or anything. What the fuck, dude?
It's such a good division. You're literally in third place with 11 wins.
Yeah, which is fucking crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, we do have a full slate of wild card games here. Last night did set up the national championship which would be Ohio State and Notre Dame. I don't really have a horse in that race. I guess I'll go for Notre Dame. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, me too. I don't want to see a fellow Big Ten win it again.
True.
I don't really mind, but because really in college, all I really hate is Wisconsin and Iowa. I don't really hate anybody else.
Right.
So, like a lot of times when Ohio State was in the national championship, I went for them because they're just not a rival. They're, like in college football, your rivalries are like the border states. So that's why Wisconsin, Minnesota versus Wisconsin and Iowa are a big deal. But like, it's not that crazy of a deal when we play Ohio State or Penn State, or I mean, it kind of is for Purdue because that's nearby. But and we play for a trophy in that game, so that's different.
True. While we're speaking on college football, we may as well open up with this story here, which is the former Oregon's Duck player who decided it was a good thing to pistol whip somebody on Christmas.
This is different than the felony hit and run guy.
Yes, yeah. College football is going a little bit crazy these days. Let's see here. Former Oregon Ducks player, football player, arrested for allegedly pistol whipping a person on Christmas. Former Oregon Ducks wide receiver Ryan Pelham was arrested on Wednesday, January 8th. So, it's from People here. A former University of Oregon football player was arrested after completing his first college football season. Oregon Ducks wide receiver Ryan Pelham, real name Ryan Tristan Chance Taylor. So where the fuck did you get Pelham from?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Was arrested.
You get to have a professional wrestler name in football now?
Right. Like, what is this? He was arrested in Springfield, Oregon on a nationwide extradition warrant from his hometown of Long Beach, California. Taylor, 19, was accused of pistol whipping a person in California on Christmas Day. He allegedly injured the victim's head, prompting the person to need stitches. That's usually what happens when you get pistol whipped. It's a pretty heavy fucking gun.
So I assume he got kicked off the team.
Well, no, because he entered the transfer portal before it happened. So Taylor allegedly then fired 2 shots into an unknown direction. On Wednesday, January 8th, Eugene police found Taylor in an apartment in Springfield. He allegedly told authorities he was aware of the California warrant, but did not provide further comment. Taylor was taken to Lane County Jail on Thursday, January 9th. An unknown person posted bail for an unknown amount after Taylor waived extradition. California has till January 23rd to pick him up to appear in court there. Days before his arrest, he entered the transfer portal after his first season with the Ducks. He was a four-star recruit. Damn, bro. In 2024 class recruiting class and graduated from Milliken High School in Long Beach, California. Taylor originally agreed to join the USC Trojans and switched to Oregon, where he played 4 games. A spokesperson with the university said Taylor is no longer enrolled in the school and no longer a member of the Ducks. Well, I would certainly hope not. Even if he didn't enter the fucking transfer portal. There was a guy,
he was a quarterback for Minnesota, and he got in a fight. I think it was after, this was before Rutgers was in the Big Ten. So he transferred to Rutgers, I think after 1 year of starting at Minnesota, and he got in a fight outside of a bar with some dude and gave him brain damage. But
I remember that.
He didn't get kicked off the team or anything, and he actually wound up going and playing in the XFL, not the XFL, that other league that was around for 1 year, and
UFL,
the AAF or whatever the fuck that was.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
He played in that, and he might have played in some other stuff, but it was just weird how he basically killed a dude, and it didn't affect his career at all, really.
I mean, this might not end up affecting this kid.
Yeah.
He didn't kill anybody. I mean, it did need stitches, but I could totally see, if anything, if America's good for anything, if you have any kind of athletic talent, we will forgive your bullshit.
It's funny. I think this was when I was still in high school when the Seahawks beat the Broncos in the Super Bowl. The Huskies had this University of Washington had this quarterback coming in, he had redshirted his freshman year and he was going to be the starter the next year. And he got in trouble because he was at the University of Washington, but he was from Denver originally, so the Broncos. And some Seahawks fan on the campus knew he was from Denver and was taunting him and shit after the Super Bowl. And it was him and this other wide receiver who were both from Denver, but on the University of Washington. And they like beat up this Seahawks fan for like taunting them. And what's funny is years later, the wide receiver who was named like Deontay Stringfellow or some shit, he actually got picked up by the Seahawks years later for like preseason training camp and shit.
Wow. Funny how life works out sometimes. For real. Yeah, okay. Let's see. We can get into some LA fires.
Yeah, you know, I feel like I've thought about this for the last like 5 or 10 years. I just think like, you know, think about it. We've had the drones, we had Luigi, Jimmy Carter dying, and the fire, and the New Orleans shit, and the Vegas shit. So I mean, as fucked up as it is to say, I just feel like in America, the flags are just like permanently at half staff.
It feels like it. But like at what point are we completely desensitized to shit?
I mean,
you know what I mean? Like, are we already there? It feels like it.
It feels like it, you know, like I still remember when, like now I feel because of the fires, I feel like the dude plowing through everybody in New Orleans is already out of the news.
That's what I'm saying. Like when I was younger, like 15, 20 years ago, that shit from New Orleans wouldn't have left the news cycle for like fucking like 3 months.
A month at least.
Yeah. And now it's just like swept everybody up. We got some new shit to cover.
Oh,
you know,
so I was a little too young when Columbine happened. I was only like 3 years old. Yeah. But the earliest mass shooting that I remember was Virginia Tech. And I remember that shit was in the news for a month. Like that
all over the place.
Now I feel like there's a school shooting every week and it's just like, oh, that's horrible. That's sad. But
yeah, it stays there for a couple days and that's it. We all move on. It's kind of fucked up, really, because the victims and the people who are like affected by it, the families, they don't get to just move on in a couple days.
Yeah, like that, like the last really horrific one was the Uvalde one, like 2 years ago.
Yeah. And you know, I guess that one hung around longer than usual. Honestly, I think that's because like the police didn't like do it.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
The lack of police.
Yeah. Like they were there.
They were chilling outside the room on their phones while people were turned to Swiss cheese.
It's fucked up. And like, you know, but yeah, I think that's the reason that one may have stuck around a little longer. But yeah, I mean, look at the one that happened with that chick that did it like last month or something at fucking like her middle school or whatever.
Oh, that like Christian private. Yeah, that trans, whatever the fuck they were. Yeah, like, I already forgot about that until you.
Yeah, see, and that wasn't even that long ago.
No, that was
Christmas.
Yeah,
or right after Christmas or something. I don't know. No, it couldn't have been right after Christmas. They would have been on break.
I mean, I feel like we're already at that point.
Well, I mean, anything that happens, and social media doesn't help. Anything that happens, people are on there cracking jokes and fucking trying to make views out of it and shit.
And also, back when Virginia Tech, even like Sandy Hook happened, not everyone in the fucking world had smartphones. So you didn't hear about that shit till 6 hours later when you got home from school or work or whatever. I mean, you know, so now we literally know about it fucking 5 minutes after it happens.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, so for like Sandy Hook, we had smartphones, but we didn't have the push notifications at that point to be like CNN or whatever, Daily Mail, or whatever the fuck you got on your phone to tell you that this shit happened. It's crazy. Crazy shit, dude. But yeah, we're definitely down the desensitized path already. Because, and then like the media, the 24-hour news cycle, that helps too, to where they just move on so quickly. So like they dictate the narrative. If they don't want people talking about it no more, then they're just gonna stop covering it, and it just fucking goes away.
Like I remember 10 or 15 years ago, if you watched any sort of news, it wasn't just politics and stupid wars and stuff. Like there was a little bit, but it was crime. It was like interesting stuff going on in your area, if it's local news, your area, or you know, like it would be interesting stories and stuff. But now it's literally all just fucking politics 24/7. Yeah, like I can't remember the last time I turned on MSNBC or something for an hour and it wasn't just fucking politics the entire time. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. There was a third politics, a third headlines, and then a third like just interesting lifestyle stuff.
Yeah, they used to have actually have like feel good stories and shit on the news from time to time. The only place you get like a feel good story is like before the playoffs, to, like pick a player on a team.
Yeah,
and they'd be like, he grew up in a dungeon.
Yeah, they were playing fly up in the front yard, and then he walked back up to go inside, and there was an eviction notice on his door.
Yeah. And they lived in a shelter until he got his rookie contract. And then it shows like his mom crying and shit.
I'll never forget there was this one time. It's some page. It's like out of context UFC broadcast or something, and it was some UFC fight. I forgot. It was like some like prelim, like lower level, no name guys. But for some reason, John Anik, the broadcaster, was like, both of like it's the beginning of the fight. They're just squaring off. They're feeling each other out. Yeah. And all of a sudden, John Anik, the broadcaster, goes, "Both of these men involved in custody battles with their children currently."
Oh, Jesus. Probably added to it. Like, I need to get some frustration out. Dude.
Yeah.
All right. So we do have a lot of wild stories to get into. We could finish off like the political stuff before we get into those. Like, so the Greenland leader is set to meet and negotiate with Trump, I guess. So this Greenland thing maybe happened, dude.
Why does he want to invade there? They're just one of those peaceful ass countries that live in their little fucking countryside houses and don't bother anybody.
It's because of where they're located. Like, so if we could get that territory, it prevents Russia from doing some stupid shit,
invading it.
Yeah, and like we could set up like I think the idea is that if they become a territory, then we can install like nuclear missile silos and shit over there for more protection, just in case they want to do something crazy. I'm thinking it's based on location though, because that and like it opens up trading and shit like that more so. But let's see what the Greenland leader has to say here. Greenland's leader says he's ready to talk to Trump. Borup Agati or something. Let's see. He said on Friday that he was ready to speak with U.S. President.
Old. He's not 1,000 years old. The U.S.
Yeah, for real.
But
he said Friday he was ready to speak with U.S. President-elect Donald Trump, who said he wants control over the Arctic island and urged respect for the island's independence aspirations. Trump, who takes office on January 20th, has described U.S. control of Greenland, a semi-autonomous Danish territory, as an absolute necessity. He did not dismiss the potential use of military or economic means, including tariffs against Denmark. At a Copenhagen press conference, when asked if he had had contact with Trump, he responded, "No, but we are ready to talk." Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen, Leif Eriksen, who has also addressed the press conference, said on Thursday she'd asked for a meeting with Trump but did not expect it to happen before his inauguration. Greenland, which is home to 57,000 people, was a Danish colony until 1953, but is now I was thinking longer than that. It's crazy. But is now a self-governing Danish territory. In 2009, it has secured the right to claim independence through a vote. So they've only been independent for less than 20 years.
They only have 57,000 people living in that country.
Yeah.
That's like half of the city of Yakima.
Yeah, that's like a little less than Utica. Not by a lot, neither. We actually may have more. I may have to look into that. Let's see. The U.S. maintains a military base in the northern part of the strategically important city. Yeah, see, so maybe that'll tell more if I click on that in a second. Let's see. He emphasized Greenland's aspiration, saying, "We have a desire for independence, a desire to be the master of our own house. This is something everyone should respect. But that doesn't mean we are cutting all ties with all cooperation relations with Denmark. The independence movement has gained momentum in recent years," which he discussed in his New Year's speech. Let's see what what this has to say about their strategic location. Let's see. Oh, never mind. Hey, it didn't even go to it. Something else. I guess you got to sign up. Well, I ain't signing up, buddy. Fuck you. All right. But yeah, they are strategically located, like where I could see, like militarily, why they'd want that. But if we already have a base there and they're friendly with us, like, why do you got to do that, bro? Like, don't do that to those people. Leave them alone, dude. Like you said, they don't bother anybody, dude. They stay.
I mean, as far as I know, they're just one of those chill European countries where everybody chills in their little fucking countryside houses and goes to fucking street markets and shit like that.
I never heard them having beef with nobody.
No, you never hear of Sweden, Greenland, Finland, Iceland, Romania. You never hear of no problems there. Everybody's just chilling.
I mean, I think if we were just asked respectfully, be like, yo, we'll give you like, I don't know, $2 million a year to build this here. They'd be like, yeah, sure, dude.
Yeah.
They don't seem like the kind of people who like get the fuck away from me. Yeah. Like, you know, they seem like decent people. I don't know. Maybe we don't have to go that far to be like, all right, dude, if you don't, we're invading you. Like, I wonder what the reaction would be to that. Just be like, yo, we're gonna invade you. They might not even have an army.
Yeah, I always wonder, like, what is the military infrastructure like for places like that, as well as places like Canada, because Canada's like never been in a war with fucking anybody.
Yeah. Well, they've like assisted us and shit, but like, yeah, you're right. It was never like Canada against like Spain or anything. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. They have a history of just like, just rolling with it. I guess I don't know. It's kind of fucking weird. But not only that, while we're on Canada, Trump is pretty he's pretty hell bent on making Canada the 51st state.
I wouldn't mind that. Then I wouldn't need a passport to go there.
Yeah, I'm not against it. I mean, they're basically like our fucking neighbor.
They're basically like another America, just their government's different.
Yeah, I mean, there's literally like there's very small differences between us.
Yeah,
and like
very
kind of live like we do.
When you see certain things, you can definitely see like the British influence, but that is not really seen here. But there's besides the government, like there's not a ton of different stuff.
Yeah, and I guess I pissed some Canadians off because they were showing a video of them, like some Canadian citizens or whatever have like planes or some shit, and they were like dumping water on the fire.
I saw that, yeah.
And then I commented, and I'm like, well, someone had like something nasty to say, and they're like, something about like fucking, and Trump wants to take this country over or something. I'm like, well, like, doesn't that like strengthen his case? You guys would be good Americans. And a lot of them got mad at me. And I'm like, but it does. It strengthens his case. It's like, yo, why wouldn't you want those people in your country? Like, they seem, and then that way they have a lot of Indians over there. We can handle the Indian shit that Elon Musk wants. We'll just park them all over in Canada. And there you go, dude. Keep them over there.
And shit, I mean, they fought back more than we ever did against shit like that trucker stuff a few years ago.
Yes.
We were posted up for a long time protesting, like, no one ever has done anything like that in America over something that actually mattered, I guess you could say.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. We don't fight back for anything. We just sit there.
We just
take it. Which is astounding because let's see. But yeah, like every movie's like, the spirit of America, and they fight back. But we don't fight back. Like in real life,
we just accept it. No, but I really think that, I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but obviously, because nobody is going to fall for another illness again, that they'll roll out something that's actually sinister to kind of swerve us because they realize, oh no, we're not fucking doing that again. Because I really think like 70% of the country, regardless of like political affiliation, like really realizes that we got duped and we're not going to again. I for sure am not going to ever again. And if it really is some killer fucking plague, then I guess it's just my fucking time to go.
Yo, like I feel like that the COVID shit was like a flex on people to be like, yeah, we're gonna make you fucking follow the arrows on the grocery store floor.
Yeah,
we're gonna make you wear a mask and we're gonna make you do all this shit until like. Yeah, go ahead.
I was still thinking because I was watching some stuff on the news about the fires and shit yesterday, and I was thinking they were talking about curfews and shit, and I was like, I still remember the COVID curfews and the stores operating on limited hours because the virus only came out after 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, so I was like, all right, and then like. You know, like closing Walmart at fucking like 9 or whatever. That was fucking stupid. Like I remember when COVID was going on, I was working in office. Like we were the last ones out of the building because we weren't actually, technically speaking, we weren't bank employees at that time.
Yeah,
we were working for Alorica for the bank, and so like we were the last ones out, bro. And like I'd have to do my shopping and shit before work and leave it in the fridge at work because by the time I got out, Walmart was fucking closed.
Yeah, and it's like I never understood why they did because then when I was working at the mall and in normal times the mall used to close at 9, but then when shit started getting real in March they're like, oh, we're gonna close the mall at 7, and I'm like, bro, that doesn't change anything. If anything, it's just gonna make more people go there because people are so hell-bent on buying stupid shit when there's this hysteria going on. They'll just go, more people will go there because there's less hours. Like that never made any fucking sense to me. A certain time of it closing doesn't control it doesn't control how many people go in or out. One person can go in there infected with it out of 300 and fucking spread it. Like I never understood what went through like higher ups brains when that was happening.
And like Walmart at midnight was a fucking ghost town anyway. You'd go in there to be like 12 people. Like that's why people would prefer to go late at night. But yeah, you're right.
That's what I did last Saturday. Because we did the show late anyways last week. We were gonna be on, but then the snowstorm and shit. That's what I did last week because we finished the show at like, I don't know, 2-3 my time, and I was like, man, but it's mid-afternoon Saturday. Like, I don't want to fucking go there right now. So what I did was I went and had dinner, and then I went there afterwards at like 8-9 o'clock my time when nobody was fucking there, and it was nice and peaceful. Instead of it like fucking when you go there at this time on a Saturday, it's fucking Woodstock 99.
Yeah, it's a fucking madhouse. It really is. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. But yeah, you're right. Like by doing that, you just cut off everyone's option to not go when it's crowded. Because now you're telling them, all right, well, we're only operating from 8 to 9, like 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. or something. Yeah. So yeah, and then remember, like, I don't know if they were doing it where you were at, but here it was like they let the elderly people in first.
They did a little bit of that. I know they did it with like fucking Costco.
Yeah, like Walmart was doing it too here. It was like the elderly got to go first and shit.
They got an hour early.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
It was so where Costco is in my town, there's like car dealership here, and then there's like a car dealership across the street. And like when that first weekend when everything was going insane, the line to like get into fucking Costco was like all the way across the street into those fucking car dealerships. I'm like, I never understood it. I'm like, I just don't. And the toilet paper thing, I still don't understand
that too. Yeah, like even Fauci got on the microphone and he was like, listen, it's not a fucking gastrointestinal disease.
Yeah.
Like, don't go on. But like, even for me, bro, I had to, thankfully, I lived in the hood at the time. And I lived like basically 2 blocks from a fucking corner store. So like they had mad toilet paper, but I was fully prepared, bro, to like use my shower as a fucking bidet if I had to, bro.
Yeah, I don't, if the world's ending and I'm running and fighting to survive, I don't care how clean my asshole is. I really don't.
Exactly. Yeah, wrong priority.
And I never got that. I'm like, look, if anything, if you're gonna be panic buying and all that shit, like, wouldn't it just be like water and fucking non-perishable food or some
Yeah.
shit? That's what I would think.
Yeah. Corn and fucking green beans and shit. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Chef Boyardee for sure, dude. Absolutely. So I guess this kind of leads us to, I guess you can say the app that defined COVID, I would say is TikTok for sure.
Yeah.
And it may be going away 8 days from now because they're not interested in selling anymore. So let me pull up this article from Newsweek. Okay, here we go. So let's see here. Article entitled TikTok Ban 2025 Explained. What is actually happening? So TikTok, they appeared yesterday in front of the Supreme Court to prevent a national ban. From what I understand, I don't think the Supreme Court sided with them. I don't think. The social media site, which is used by 170 million Americans, is fighting the ban after U.S. courts ruled they had to be split from its Chinese owner by January 19th. TikTok is under orders to split from ByteDance by January 19th. Otherwise, will face a U.S. ban enforced by the Supreme Court. So, yes, the Supreme Court didn't side with them. Their appeal today is the last chance to get the order overturned. If the Supreme Court agrees with TikTok's free speech argument, they expect to make a ruling overturning the potential ban before it comes into effect. Which states is getting banned in? Well, all of them. It's a federal ban, dude. Currently, no state has enacted a ban on TikTok for its residents. In January 2023, Montana lawmakers passed legislation banning the site in the state, but the law was struck down by a U.S. district judge. Why is it getting banned? So it's being banned over concerns that its connection to Chinese ownership could allow its use by the CCP to undermine U.S. national security. Could Donald Trump just ignore a TikTok ban? Calls for the ban increased in 2024 during widespread college campus protests against support for Israel, blah, blah, blah. TikTok has raised First Amendment arguments why the app shouldn't be banned, bringing the case to the Supreme Court in hopes of preventing the ban from taking effect. So Trump doesn't want to. He said, why would I want to get rid of TikTok?
So, yeah, when it happens on January 18th or 19th or whatever, so
Yeah.
like if you have it on your phone still and you open it, like what happens? Do you get in trouble or something?
No, it's just going to be, it's going to have a screen on there that's like, kind of like how, you ever see the thing on Twitter to where like it'll have a video and it'll be like, this video is not available in your country?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it'll be something like that. But let's see. Trump said at a press conference, I have a warm spot in my heart for TikTok because I won the youth in the election by 34. Wow, really? I did not know that. That's a lot of fucking points, bro. There are those who say TikTok has something to do with it. So here are the countries that have banned TikTok already: Afghanistan, Senegal, Azerbaijan, Bangladesh, Iran, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, and Albania.
Goddamn Kurds.
Yeah. I mean, some of these countries I could see, like Afghanistan, of course, is banned there. Iran, of course, is banned there. You know what I mean? Like,
a lot of those places have state-run media, I assume.
Right,
so.
right. I mean, I can get both sides of it because, like, a lot of people who want to keep it, they're like, "Yo, you're making it seem like the U.S. doesn't gather our data," which they do. They do. I get it. But here's the thing: like, even if China's doing that, what could they possibly do with it?
Yeah, I don't care if I don't care. Like, look, like everybody's house address. You can fucking Google your name and find your house address. Like, I don't care what.
Yeah, like
I don't have anything to hide. I don't care.
What is China gonna do with be like, all right, yo, Josh lives here and he works here? Like, motherfucker, you're in China. Like, I don't understand. Like, I get the concern. I get that like other countries shouldn't have that. I get it. But like, what could they possibly do with it? Like, you know, I don't understand. Like, what are you gonna do? Open a credit card in my name or something? Like, what are you gonna do, bro? I mean, and plus with like all the shit that people willingly put up on social media, who gives a fuck about data? Like, you're saying the whole shit to the world anyway. Like, you want people are like, yo, I haven't smoked crack in like 10 days. And you're like, excuse me? Like, what? What? So the shit that people are willingly giving To me, it's not more than what they can take.
Yeah. I always say, like, if there's really, you know, all this FBI surveillance and shit, I'm like, bro, I hope you brought your MacBook with you so you can watch fucking movies while you have me under surveillance, because I ain't doing shit.
Well, here's the thing. If you get all that FBI and CIA and NSA surveillance, then why the fuck does all this wild shit happen in our country?
Yeah, right? And also, we found Osama bin Laden in a fucking cave, and but we can't find missing people. We can't solve these fucking crimes. We can't solve these crimes that don't have enough evidence.
Like
that.
These people who do like the mass shootings or like the New Orleans thing with the Tesla, the bomb and shit, right?
Yeah.
So this guy, I mean, they put out text message records and shit between, you know, him and his ex-girlfriend, whatever the fuck. There's no way that there's no communication going on between him and like somebody else who may be in on it or someone who knows. Yeah. Because notoriously, people can't keep a fucking secret.
No.
People aren't going to keep their fucking mouth shut. You're telling somebody. So if you have access to this and you can see all of our text messages and our data and all this shit, why are you not stopping it before it fucking happens then?
Yeah.
Why is it always after the fact? We're like, we discovered text messages. Well, you guys spy on our shit all the time. Like, they probably see like 1 million fucking dick pics a day.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? And, you know, like nudes and shit and all this stuff that gets passed around. And you're looking at all that, but you can't prevent something from fucking happening.
Yeah, you can't prevent a domestic terrorist attack.
That's what I'm saying. And like these people, they're within the United States, so it's not like that they're reading shit from like fucking Ghana or some shit. Like, like, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand, dude. I mean, like I said, I get the national security concerns to an extent. Yeah. But like, you know, if anything, it should be banned for all the misinformation that these fucking girls go on there in their car. It's like, if I ever see a woman in her front seat and her driver's seat, I don't want to hear it. Because you're either talking about something that I don't want to hear, or it's complete fucking bullshit that you made up.
Yeah. Or it's something that's your own fault that you caused.
Yeah.
I always say, I'll never forget, like, I don't know, a year or so ago, I saw some meme and it's basically like a stick figure, like pointing. And it says, guess who chose their baby daddy? And I posted that like on my Instagram story. And I said, me when I see a crying in the car TikTok.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, dude, like, enough. And everything's so like performative and shit on there. And I mean, I guess that's not really a reason for it to be banned. I just don't go on it, you know. But I will say that it is one of the few apps where not everything is like doom and gloom. Like, at least you go out and get a laugh. You know what I mean?
I've learned a lot of crazy stuff, not even like conspiracy theory stuff, like places in America, places around the world, like just shit I didn't know. And like, you know, what's funny is like when it happened to both of us when you go through a breakup, your entire feed is tarot card readings and a letter.
Yeah.
And here's your 3 tarot cards. This person's coming back because they may have met somebody else and thought they might be better, but they didn't. Like, that shit never shows up anymore, and I'm glad. Now my TikTok is all like, it's all like interesting stuff. Like I learned about like it's a conspiracy theory, you could say. I've learned about the Tartarian civilization, which is basically like an advanced civilization that was here, and they think about how all these crazy nice, you know, structures were built in America in the 1800s and 1900s, and like all those exquisite church cathedrals and temples. Like, how the fuck was that shit built on fucking on people coming in on horse-drawn carriages? And
there's a lot of shit like that. Like when I was with Savannah and we were doing Molly and shit, we'd put on like shit about like ancient civilizations, bro. And like these people, they would build these fucking like amazing structures and like temples and all this shit. And it's like, you guys existed like before Christ. Like, how did you fucking do this, bro?
Yeah. And
then just one day they just up and fucking disappeared. No trace of them whatsoever. They left their shit behind. Their temples are still here, but there's no like skeletons. There's nothing, bro. There's no proof of like these people leaving anything behind, but besides what they built.
And so what they say about the Tartarian people in America is that, you know how in the 1800s and 1900s there was all those great fires, the great Chicago fire, the great Seattle fire, that all of those fires destroyed the evidence of
Well, and that's one thing that people were saying about the LA shit is like so many of these actors and shit, like
the houses are fucking burning down.
Right. And so goes all the evidence with it.
Someone said, oh, it's to burn down the Diddy tunnels, but it's like, okay, if there's tunnels, they'd be underground. Yeah. I don't think this shit was an accident. I think it was deliberately set by who or what. I don't know, but like it's crazy. It's crazy how Monday Night Raw was in Los Angeles on Monday for the Netflix premiere, and everybody's feeling good, and it's the new year and the new Netflix shit. And then literally it was like the next day or maybe the day after, I had the news on before work, and it's like, oh, breaking news, and all this shit's fucking on fire. People are evacuating. Yeah. It's crazy how everything changed in like 2 days.
Well, like, it's to the point to where like you hear a fire in LA and you're just like, yeah, okay, whatever, dude.
Yeah,
like,
you hear it. Even in like Washington, like we have wildfires.
Yeah,
that's what I thought it was, something like that. But then I learned it wasn't. And I guess so. I mean, they got Raw out of the way right before it started, and obviously the first day of that the fires got crazy. They postponed the Lakers game that was there.
Yep.
They're obviously moving the football game to Arizona, and then UFC next Saturday is supposed to be where Raw was this past week. Yeah, and there's no way shit's going to be under control by then. So, I mean, there's a good chance they'll have to move that somewhere. I mean, they'll have no problem moving it somewhere, but I'm sure they'll have to move that somewhere. Yeah. Maybe.
And I gotta say too, like the Intuit Dome is fucking fire, dude. I like it.
Yeah, it's insane. It's like I like how on the one side it's not like levels; it just goes all the way like that.
Yeah,
and I guess like I've seen videos and stuff of it, of like, you know how it's got that giant like oval screen above it.
Yeah.
Like when like you think of like at a game, a basketball game, they just shoot T-shirts out of the gun thing. At the Lakers game or the Clippers, like it's that stadium so crazy and tech savvy and interactive that they shoot T-shirts basically out of the top of those screens into the crowd.
Oh wow, that's crazy. That's wild. But I mean, it's just it's just wild to see like all these videos and shit you see, and then like I was seeing something. I don't know how true it is because I'm pretty sure it was from a TikTok. Someone had reposted it. But this lady was saying that she had heard a text. She got a text from somebody saying that fucking like people were dumping fucking gasoline in the sewers and shit to keep the fires going. Yeah, dude. It's fucked up.
I was thinking it looks like the Las Vegas Golden Knights are on the road the whole next week. So, I mean, if they wanted to move that pay-per-view away from Los Angeles to Las Vegas, they could easily.
Yeah. Which it wouldn't fuck with the travel too bad.
It's only like it's like a 2-hour flight. It's like a 4 or 5 hour drive, I think.
Yeah. But just destruction everywhere. It's fucked up, man. I've never dealt with a fire, thank God.
I never have either. I mean, the only thing the last couple of years, the wildfires have gotten like kind of bad where I live, but like they're not close to me or anything, but like it fucks the atmosphere up for like a whole week. There's soot in the air. It just looks like it's all fucking hazy for like a week. You'll get notification. It'll say like on the weather app like this, it'll say like unhealthy. It'll say that like on the top of there. I mean, there's been times where it was like not far from me got evacuated, but like, far enough that like I didn't have to worry. That's the thing. Like a lot of people always say like, I want to buy land and live in the country. But then like when shit happens like that, you're fucked.
Yeah.
And it's burned down a lot of pretty historical places.
I know, like where from Perry gone.
Yeah, where movies were filmed. A couple. I saw something else. It was like it showed. I saw a video where it was like before and after of like all these famous landmarks, and like they're burnt to the fucking ground. I guess
Yeah.
I saw a video, or I saw like a list of like 10 things that had burnt down, and like some fucking bank burned to the ground. And it was like, imagine how much money was in there, and it all burned up.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely wild shit, man. Like a few years ago, we had those wildfires. It was affecting you and me, I think, right?
Yeah, in Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it looked like when they go to Mexico and Breaking Bad outside, dude.
Yeah.
It was actually scary, dude. It looked like the end of the world, dude. It was crazy.
And like those ones in 2020 where it was like the Oakland A's game, and it looked like
Yeah.
What's
crazy to me is like while that shit was going on, they still had a game at Yankee Stadium that night with all the wildfires going on, and it looked fucking insane, dude.
Yeah,
it looked great. Like it looked like apocalyptic, dude.
I remember sharing that picture of the one of the Oakland A's game, and someone said like, "Oh, this looks like a dystopian hellscape," and then someone I know who actually lives. I mean, I think he used to live in the Bay Area at that time that I know. He commented on it. He goes, "Well, to be fair, the Coliseum was always a dystopian hellscape."
True. Yeah. Let's see here. So, oh wait. Okay, yeah. So we got 3 wild stories to get into. So what we'll do, you want to take? We'll go to we'll take a break till 20, and then we'll come back and get into these wild news stories.
Yeah, it sounds like a plan.
All right, we'll see you guys in 10 minutes. All right, gang. We're back with you. Okay. So let's have some fun about some true crime. Some wild shit in the news. Let's see. As soon as Jack comes back. I am beginning my journey into painting today. I'm pretty excited, actually. Slob Ross, as they call me. Shout outs to Quincy, man. He'll be here tomorrow watching the Bills game with me. Quincy, the honorary member of Bills Mafia, due to our first time hanging out. He got because this area has a lot of Bills fans. So
Yeah.
We went down to a bar here for the first time we met up. And he like immediately fell in love with the Bills fan culture just because they're fucking nuts. They're fucking insane. Dude.
They
really
put
are.
each other through tables like wrestlers.
Yeah, they do, man. Like there was this dude, I think it was 2 weeks ago. It was for the regular season. No, it might have been last week. Dude, like picked this guy up like he was giving him a razor's edge and threw him off the back of a fucking pickup truck through a table. And the dude just got right up and someone was like, see, these are the guys that are killing the business. Just no selling a fucking razor's edge on the floor. Well, and not really the floor in this case. It was the paper. But wild people. Wild fucking people. All right, so we got 3 stories. I'm going to let you choose what we lead off with, all right? So we got a woman who dropped off her husband's dead body at the police station, all right? We have a teacher who assisted in bullying a 12-year-old girl, resulting in the child killing themselves. And then we have a cop who gave a homeless guy a poop sandwich.
I want to start with the shit sandwich. That's the one you sent me this morning before we started.
All right. I seen this. This was a late addition to the show here because I seen it right before we went on. And I'm like, there's no way that we cannot, that we can't, we can't leave this out. We have to talk about this. So disgraced Texas cop fired for giving homeless man a poop sandwich is back in uniform in a new city. This is tough to swallow. This is why I love New York Post.
They actually wrote that. It's not even like a satire article. They actually wrote this is tough to swallow.
Yeah. This is tough to swallow. A disgraced San Antonio cop who was fired twice. He did it 2 times. Who was fired twice after being accused of giving a homeless man a dog poop sandwich is back on the beat. And look, he's a happy guy. Look, he's thrilled, man.
Yeah.
He's happy. He's happy as fuck. Matthew Luckhurst had his San Antonio badge taken from him in 2016 for police chief William McManus on a vile and disgusting act. I would have to agree, man. I would have to fucking agree. Luckhurst, 42, now serves as a cop in Benavides, about 150 miles from San Antonio, according to Benavides Police Chief Andre Hines, who said the 2023 hiring reflects the department's commitment to honesty and accountability. What? That's the anti. What are you talking about, dude? A fellow cop alleged Luckhurst picked up the feces off the street and placed it on bread. Then
wait, he just carries bread with him?
I guess so. Or maybe he's, I don't know.
Or he makes himself fucking sandwiches on the go or some shit? But he's not a truck driver. He doesn't have a fridge in his car.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know. Maybe police cars are super techie now, and they do.
I mean, they do have the laptop sitting next to them, so I don't know. Maybe San Antonio had an upgrade. I don't know.
I like how in this article they actually call the homeless person a hobo.
Yeah, well, that's it for a hobo.
It's not politically correct at all.
Nah, dude, the New York Post is savage, dude. I love the New York Post. Luckhurst maintained his innocence from the outset, maintaining he gave the hobo the sandwich to discard, not consume. Why would you do that?
Why would you give it to him in the first place then?
Exactly. Like, you can just as easily as throw it in the fucking garbage, dude. You know, he doesn't have to do. Like, you put shit in between 2 slices of bread inside a styrofoam container and handed it to the guy. Like, yeah, dude, you're trying to get him to eat it. Yeah. The homeless man never ate the sandwich. Okay. Bizarrely, that same year, Luckhurst was accused of defecating in one. What is this guy's issue with shit? was accused of defecating in one of the San Antonio Police Department's female restrooms before wiping a brown feces-like substance on one of the toilet seats.
What's wrong with this guy?
I don't know. Like
He likes
this
poop more than Indians.
he should not. He should not be a cop.
He should move to India.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe they need to import for a change. He reportedly never denied being behind the bathroom incident. He's like, yeah, I did it. It was me.
Yeah, did that shit, so what?
He successfully appealed the sandwich firing in 2019 and briefly returned to the force before the dismissal was upheld by a judge in 2020. Luckhurst was back in uniform by February 2022, working as a police officer in nearby Floresville, about 30 miles from San Antonio. But once word of his arrival got out, he was axed again in 10 months. Hines said that Luckhurst's record in Benavides has been exemplary, with no complaints or issues reported, and said that a thorough background check helped ensure all aspects of his history were carefully considered. He could not be reached for comment.
I would hope not.
I mean, you can't talk your way out of that one.
The media shows up to his house and he starts slinging shit at him.
Yeah, and throwing shit like a monkey in a cage.
Yeah.
What a guy.
We can do the women, the lady dropping a corpse off at the police station, hospital, I mean.
All right. This is from my old stomping grounds of Mobile, Alabama, folks.
Mobile Bay Bears.
That's right. Great team. All right. Mobile woman arrested after allegedly dropping dead ex-husband off at hospital.
Wait, was her ex-husband?
Right. I guess so. A Mobile woman was arrested on New Year's after she allegedly dropped her dead ex-husband off at a hospital following a reported shooting. The Mobile County Sheriff's Office said the woman arrested was Genesis. There we go. According to an MSCO news, I was at the hospital around 1 a.m. for the reports of a dead man being dropped off. The release said the victim, identified as what is up with these names, man? Lazarus Tanksley, was dropped off by a woman with braided hair with red collared tips who was driving a silver Lexus SUV. MCSO deputies took over the investigation from the Mobile Police Department and spoke with two witnesses, one of which reportedly identified the woman as Genesis. The witness stated that she had traveled to the victim's residence with Genesis. She stated Genesis and the victim were arguing and that she had heard a gunshot. She fled the scene on foot and has not been seen or spoken to since the shooting. Genesis was charged with murder and is being held without bond, according to jail records. So we got two people with biblical names, not acting very Christian like.
Yeah, right.
We got Genesis, and I wonder if that's how they connected, if that's how the initial attraction. Maybe they went and met on like a dating app or something.
Yeah,
on like Plenty of Fish.
Geez, Genesis. I saw some. I had never heard of this, but I saw yesterday some dating app called Thursday is shutting down due to lack of interest, and I never heard of that. I've never heard of that shit, but it's shutting down, I guess. So don't tell Danny Mask, because I'm sure he has a fucking premium subscription to it.
I should text him and be like, "Yo, you got some bad news, bro."
Thursday. I saw this article yesterday. It said Tinder and Hinge competitors shutting down due to lack of interest. And I thought the article was like, oh, Tinder or Hinge is shutting down? And then I read it, and it's some dating app called Thursday, which I've never heard of.
I was about to say, at that point, I wouldn't even consider him a competitor because I've never even fucking heard of him.
Never heard of it. And then it said it's shutting down. They all should shut down. I hope they all shut down in the next couple of years.
There's nothing of value to be had on there, dude. You know, like if you're a young dude, you just want to have some fun or something, fine. But if you're looking for something serious on any dating app, like if a woman is on a dating app, she's on there for a fucking reason, dude.
You said that best, and I've learned my lesson. And I guess when I was young, I used to take it really seriously, and now I'm like, oh, I'll just talk to girls I match with. Who cares if they do or don't respond? Like, at least you'll get some experience, and then you could take that into other things about, oh, talking like this to a girl doesn't work. Saying this, doing this doesn't work,
That's
or
what it
this
should
works
be.
really good, or this
It
works
should
really good, and then you could take it to other things.
It should be the training grounds for, like, as a dude, because I think the experience as a woman is different. Like, you can just match with a dude and fuck him, right?
You can
Okay.
go. You if you're a semi-attractive girl, you're probably getting catcalled like every fucking day.
Yeah. Their shit is like filled with all kinds of messages, man.
And
So,
I don't
like,
even mean just on dating apps. I mean out in the wild too.
oh yeah, true, yeah. But like on the dating apps, I feel like that those should be like, you should like sharpen your spear and like fucking like hone your craft and shit on that.
Or you can write paragraphs to them, to their support team, like our.
Yeah. Maybe next episode we'll pull those texts up.
Plus, you know what I've noticed in the last few years?
Yeah.
They've just become trash. Like, I don't know if it's like an algorithm thing or what, but like I remember like 4, 5, 6 years ago, I used to get like a decent amount of matches who were actually attractive, who actually lived in the imminent area. And now, like nowadays, the last 2 years, you get like no fucking matches. And it's like, I don't know if it's like an algorithm thing or like what happened. Cause it's like, now I guess what I've heard is they basically like filter it. So you only see these like busted polyamorous bitches. Yeah. And then you have to buy the premium whatever to get unlimited.
Only for dudes, though. So they only do it to dudes. To where like they're filtering out like the really attractive women, but the really attractive women are still matching with like the really attractive men.
Yeah, well, they say that. They always say that. I guess the statistic is 80% of women are matching with the top 20% of guys on this. And what that means is like, I don't know if that means like what you put as your job title or what it is. Like if I were to just lie and put,
like $200K or something. Yeah.
I'm a lawyer or some shit. Would I get more matches? Like, I don't know if that's it or if it's like a facial recognition thing and they deem this guy more attractive than this guy or what.
Yeah. I'd like to, I mean, I'm sure it's not really out there publicly available. And I'd love to know what that criteria is too. Yeah. Because if it is profession, then people just go on there and be like, yeah, I own a business or something, or like, but yeah, maybe it is profession, maybe it's looks, I'm not sure, but like that can also explain why a lot of these women are fucking the same dudes, because they're only getting like 10 dudes to fucking pick from.
Yeah.
Whereas like, and then also the other part of it too is like men are more, because men are definitely, well, I don't know. I was about to say men are the more horny of the two, but I don't think that's true. I think women are just as horny, but like these companies are keeping it from normal men.
Really? I mean, at least in the last few years, because I think it's mainly become more about, because again, like from my own experience 5, 6, 7 years ago, I used to get like matches that were local and pretty attractive. Like you'd get busted bitches too, but like you'd get matches that were pretty attractive and you'd actually like wind up going out with a few of them like I did. But like now it's like when the last few times I've been on there in last 2 years or so, you don't get any, like, I swear to God, I haven't gotten like any fucking matches, and that can't, like, nothing changed. I didn't gain 300 pounds.
Right.
Nothing fucking changed. So it's like, it's gotta be some weird algorithm, and they hide it behind the fucking paywalls and shit, so then you have to pay and make money and stuff.
One thing I can say is that men are more apt to pay to get access to women than women will pay to get more access to men.
Yeah. Well, it's like that tweet you showed of that one Tinder profile.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, whoever matches with that won't even get a response. And what I meant by that is like, there's a lot of times where like, so like on these apps, like the Facebook dating or Hinge or whatever, what you do is you click on you could just match with them outright, or you could type a little something, a fucking pickup line, a question, whatever, and that makes it a little bit more interesting than just liking the thing. And then obviously when someone matches with you, you can accept it or decline it. And there's been times in the past where like I'll try to match with a girl like by asking them some sort of conversation starter, something, and then they accept it and match with me, but then just don't answer the question or anything. And it's like I just think, like, going back to that tweet, it's like they get a high just off of seeing them have 50 matches, even though they're not going to talk to any of them or hardly any of them. And I'm not saying I'm not holding anything against a female or anything. I just that's just the way it goes, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and then at worst, they got you in their reserve. So like, just in case, they're like, oh yeah, this guy was kind of cute. I'll go message him 2 weeks later.
Or it's like, some dudes, a lot of dudes, like with me, if I talk to a girl, I might message her, and if she doesn't respond, okay, cool, I'm done with that. I'm not gonna, depending on the situation, I might hit her back again, but I'm mature enough to. But then there's these dudes who will sit there and talk.
Dude.
They'll sit there and talk to themselves in a girl's messages 8 times over. So then when a girl's bored and lonely 2 weeks later, she's gonna see that and then go, oh, I don't know, like, I'm bored, I need attention. I guess I can put up with this guy a little bit for a little while,
Yeah.
And that's not really a compliment. That's not really a compliment to the guy, because it's not really showing. It's not showing like you were the one all along. It's more showing like, oh, you're the dunce that's always around,
Well, and then also, like, you got to think, each time you message, if you do it like once a day, right? Depending on when she looks, eventually you might be at the top of her message list.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but no, I mean, and a lot of times these girls, they have no interest in you, like in that guy who's just fucking messaging you nonstop, right?
Well,
but
it's not a good look. I mean, any woman with a decent amount of self-respect and basic social cues will think like, okay, a normal guy will message me once or twice and catch the fucking clue like me. And there's guys who still believe like, oh, if I keep chasing her, that'll show that I really care, and I care way more than most of these guys. Like, no, like they're not.
I'm on board with chasing a girl to an extent. If you like hang out and shit, you really want to show her that you want to be with her, not like trying to message her on a fucking app.
Steady pursuance, not chasing.
Yeah,
like,
I found this girl on an app and I'm gonna go, hey, and then she didn't respond tonight, and then tomorrow I'm gonna go, hey there, and then the next day, hey, beautiful.
What are you doing?
It's not pursuing.
What are you doing? How was your day?
Yeah, if you're like hanging out and you guys spend time together and whatever, you guys go to movies or whatever, I have no issue with trying to show the girl that, like, okay, dude, I really want to be with you. It's kind of like wanting a promotion at work. Like, you want to show that you can do it and like this is why and shit like that. But if the chick is showing no interest, that's not chasing, it's not pursuing, it's you being a fucking stalker, essentially.
Yeah.
But
a lot of people don't get that, because a lot of people think that life is the Disney movies, and if I never give up and I keep showing, like, it's gonna, like, I heard a good sentiment, and it was like, it's kind of how I felt at one point when I was really young, like in my early 20s, maybe, that like, oh, but like this girl, put me on the back burner now, but in the end I'll be with her. It's like, no, you can't do that. And I know that now, but back, but like
these movies and shit when we were teenagers, that's what it taught us.
Yeah.
And then like real life smacks you in the fucking head and you're just like, oh shit, dude.
Yeah.
It's not actually like that.
Like, I want that. I'm gonna whisk her back away from that guy, and I'm gonna get her back. It's like, no, you can't. You can't do that. Like I remember I heard another thing once where a guy said, like, oh, I have men message me and say, oh, should I chase my ex to get her back? And the guy said, well, if it's only been like a week and
if it's still fresh.
If it's still fresh, maybe. And he goes, but if there's been a guy or other guys in the picture, then no, it's over because even if you do get back with her and you
It's
live
never going to be the same.
and you live a beautiful life with having a family and shit, you're gonna always remember that she's only with you because it didn't work out with that other guy.
And it's never going to be the same. Like it's always going to be fractured. And that's not to say that like relationships don't go through ups and downs, because they do. Yeah. But like when there's like a clean breakup and you've been broken up for like 2 months, like you may not look at her the same and she may not look at you the same, because at first it feels really good, like I got what I wanted, and then like a month later you're like, oh shit, this is why it never worked out. Like, this is why we broke up.
Like the first time I ever got hurt when I was like 20 years old, every single person goes through this where you're like, I'll never like someone again, I'll never, and and now I lost my train of thought, but now what I was saying was, like, now when people, especially the last 6 or so months of my life, when certain people have come back around and kind of showed an interest in like being with me when they didn't want to be with me when I wanted them 3, 4, 5 years ago. It's like to me, like, no matter how many times I fall short, a girl doesn't like me. Like, to me, it's always good to just preserve your energy towards meeting new people and starting fresh, as opposed to continuing on with something that has dents in it. Like, I always say that, like, I'd rather start fresh than have dents in it. Because I know of relationships myself, including people who are married, who got back together after years of not being together. I'm like, bro, maybe that shit looks good on Facebook, but like deep down, like I know, like there's dents in that shit. You know what I mean?
Like that's why I don't understand Sean's position with all of this shit, because like it's not like you hid from anybody what the girl did to you
at all,
right? Like even after they were broken up, like he would still tell people like, she did this and did that, and it's
every single time that I was on the old show, talked about it for at least an hour every single time, besides one of them.
And now it's like how, like, where we're at now, me and him, where we're at now is totally his own doing. Yeah. Because you told me all this awful shit that she did to you and how she made you look like a fool and a jackass and fucked you and Quinn over countless times. You just be okay with all of this. And no, dude, I can't.
And you're pretending like it never happened, like any of this bad shit ever happened. He literally, I think, I don't know, one of the times I was on the old show, he literally talked for a fucking hour about making the fake dating app profiles to catch her. And then I remember I literally asked, like, oh, like, did you like confront her once you figured it out? And then he's like, no. And I'm like, well, then what the fuck's the point? Like, I'm not saying like call her out and roid rage and shit, but say like, hey, look, I know what you've been doing, and then kick him the fuck out.
Like, so she respected you so little at that time that she was on a dating app cheating on you, or trying to cheat on you, while she was living in the same house as you. And he'd be like, yo, I want nudes or something. And she would walk into the bathroom while he's on the couch pretending to be this guy and sends you the fucking nudes, not knowing that it's you. And now you're back with her, and it's just like, you're just like, his thought process must be like, now she respects me now. And then he has nowhere else to go, you fucking idiot.
He blocked you and he unfriended me because I was laughing at his comments where he was like, anything for you. It's like, who cares what I think? Like, you show that shit off if you're so proud. Who cares if one person laughs at it? Like, obviously you unfriended me because like deep down, even if you can't express it, you're embarrassed and it's wrong, but I get the whole thing that you say, he's older and doesn't want to be alone. And I get that, but like, like the fact that he unfriended me after I laughed about this shit, like that just shows like deep down, like, what you're doing is embarrassing yourself. It's wrong. And people know, we know, some other people know for sure. So it's like,
he used to push it on Facebook talking shit about her, about like, my ex-wife has herpes. I'm just like,
if you're so proud of that shit, who cares if one person laughs at a comment?
Like, it's funny what was funny about that post that you laughed at, what was funny about is the only people bigging him up were her family.
Yeah, the building the crib thing.
Yeah. It's like, you're such
Not
a
for a
good
kid
dad.
that, for a kid that ain't his.
What's going to happen when that Steve dude gets out of jail and realizes that Sean is raising his son?
Is he in jail?
Yeah.
I thought they had like a no contact order or something.
No, he ended up going back to jail for something else because when she first moved in, he had me call the police station and see if he was still there. Because one thing that she did too is like this. I mean, this is not even one of the worst. It doesn't even like add up to one of the worst things that she's done. But like in the context of it, the fact that you even have to make me do this should tell you a lot.
Yeah. Well, then remember right when she moved in the spring, he was all paranoid because the guy was driving on his street, but it turned out to be fucking nothing.
Yeah, he ended up calling me. He's like, yo, you need to get over here with your gun. And I'm like, dude, like, okay, so you want me to just show up and let's say that this is actually happening and this guy is on your corner flashing his lights. So I get out of the car and come up your porch and it puts me right in harm's way. Yeah. Why would I do that? Like, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I was like, nah, dude. Even Hafiz is like, yo, I don't think that's a smart idea, dude. Because, like, if there is someone out there, it's putting you right in the fucking crosshairs, dude.
Right in the crossfire.
Yeah, so no, I ain't fucking doing that, dude. But he did have me up stressed all fucking night over that shit.
Yeah, you were texting me. You're like, oh man, it's time for war and stuff.
Yeah, because like at first, like when he texted me, I'm like, all right, bro, I seen if Hafiz could take me over because I was gonna go over. Like, obviously, I can't get into an Uber with a fucking AR-15. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, that's not gonna work. I don't have a fucking one of those backpack ones where it conceals it. I don't have that. I just have like the one that looks like the dude from Desperado was walking around. That's the one I have. But yeah, and like. At first, I was like, fuck, dude, because like he was acting like the dude was like armed to the fucking teeth and shit, bro.
Yeah, it's a fucking militia, but it was just
someone
driving by or something.
Yeah. But, yo, like, why do you want to live that way? Why do you want to live that way?
You chose that.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I don't know, man.
It's still gonna end. I mean, there's no expiration date. I mean, I don't know what the fuck's going on now because we're all blocked, but
well, he must be talking to my grandmother a little bit because when I told her that I don't talk to him anymore, she was like, yeah, I heard. So the only way she would hear that is from him.
If he told her.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, whenever it ends, whether it's already ended or it ends in 5 years, it's not going to end well.
No. And like, if it doesn't end with a prison sentence, I already told him like, yo, I'm not putting you back together after this one, dude. Like I've done it 2 separate times for the same person. I'm not fucking doing it again, dude.
Yeah.
Like, nah, like at this point, it's stupidity, dude. And it's your own fucking fault. It's your own fault. And for the shit that she did before we get into this last story here, for the shit that she did that she had me call, he had me call the jail, the county jail or whatever, was she like up and left one night and took the baby to go see like his family. So he was like, yo, he's like, is he out of jail? Because his thinking was, yo, she's probably fucking him on the side or whatever. So I had to call the county jail and be like, is Steve, whatever the fuck is Steve Jowett, whatever the fuck his name is he still in custody? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, all right. So I ended up texting him like, yeah, he's still there. But like, you know, the fact that you trust her that little through you have to call me and be like, yo, can you call the fucking county sheriff?
That makes it even more embarrassing. I mean, it already is just on the forefront because, you know, if people who don't know about this like only knew about like just the gist of it, it's embarrassing. But then like the more layers you go, it just gets even more humiliating.
Yeah, we'll definitely cover this whole thing probably this month, honestly, because we've been planning it since Thanksgiving. Yeah. What I do have to do though, I have to get the archives from the old show, so that way I can comb through and pull up clips of like shit that he was saying and talking and saying about her. And then I want you guys to keep in mind that this is someone that he is back together with. Okay.
Well, remember the one episode we did on the old show where we had kind of the emergency meeting because we found out she was missing. And then he went on a tangent for an hour about how like, oh, she likes being the side chick and because like she was fucking some dude who was like, I can't remember, like helping her with her car or some shit.
Oh yeah, the old guy. Yeah, the old guy.
But she knew he was married or something. But like then, got all pissed when the guy kind of wanted to like push her aside because he like knew he
Yeah,
should.
that was a different dude. That was a different dude. That was the guy named Rich, and she fucking messaged the guy's wife on Facebook and was like,
"That's right, I couldn't."
Your husband. Yeah. And then the guy freaked out and like told her because he was letting her stay at like this garage thing that he had. Like,
yeah, I remember that it was like a separate apartment to the house or something like that.
Yeah, and like her and Quinn were eating off of fuck like a hot plate and shit, dude. It was fucked up, man. And the only reason that she gave Quinn back was because that dude messaged Sean or called Sean or something. It was like, hey, dude, I think that your son should live with you. He can't keep living like this and shit. So, yeah. Yeah, she ended up messaging the guy's wife. And, like, of course he's not going to choose you over his wife, you fucking idiot. Yeah. Like, number one, look at you, okay? Number two, it's his fucking wife, you dumb motherfucker. Like,
that's another thing. That's another thing we've talked about is I don't know. I imagine the guy's wife is more attractive than she is.
Yeah.
I could just imagine, just a wild guess. But it's like you always say, like, I don't necessarily condone infidelity, of course. I don't think it should be done. But I will always say if you're gonna cheat, you gotta cheat way up. You can't cheat down.
Right. But most of the
because if you're gonna cheat, it's gotta be with a smoke show, so then the girl you're with could be like, holy fuck, like he's got it going on like that. You can't have a smoke show girlfriend or wife, or even a semi-attractive girl or wife, and then cheat down with fucking Shamu, because then the girl's gonna just think you're weird and she's gonna leave you and stuff. And like, you know, another thing I once heard that was like stuck with me was I was listening to this podcast and like this guy was talking about how the girl he was on a date with was like previously engaged and it broke up because he cheated. And she told the guy that she didn't break up with him because of the cheating. She broke up with him because when he was caught cheating, he cried and begged her to take him back and forgive him and all that. It's like, that's another thing. Like, cause I know someone, I think I've told you about it. Like, I know this dude who has like 3 kids from 2 girls. And the girl he's with now, he's cheated on a bunch and shit. It's funny because like I once saw her on Tinder, and literally her bio, which is like really stupid and would be a turnoff for any guy with sense. Her bio literally said, "My baby daddy might try to fight you." But what's funny is I see on Instagram and shit now is they're back together and they're acting like they're all happy and shit. But it's like, bro, I'm sorry, but if you're gonna cheat and shit, and the girl like doesn't like you and goes on Tinder, you gotta just own up to that and let her go and like meet new chicks. Cause like you cheating like a baller and shit and then going back after you see she's on Tinder or your friend tells you she's on Tinder, that's a bitch move. Like if you're gonna cheat, again, you gotta cheat up and then you gotta be ready to lose that girl and upgrade, or at least, you know, upgrade. You can't cry and then beg for forgiveness, you know. Like you gotta just keep doing it. You can't backtrack afterwards.
Right. Yeah, that was another Danny Maz thing that he did was fucking well, he didn't cheat on her, but remember he like crashed out because he seen her on Tinder
or Bumble.
Yeah. Oh yeah, one of those two. Yeah, and he started freaking out about it. I'm telling you.
Yeah. I remember that's happened to me when I was way more like me nowadays. It's not that I don't have feelings. It's not that I don't want to treat a girl right. But me nowadays, I'm like, look, if a girl leaves me and is fucking a different dude later that day, like, I ain't going to react, you know. And even, you know, that's just it. You know, but I got where he was coming from then about that initial shock. But that shit traumatized him seeing it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. All right, let's get into this piece of shit teacher here who I can't even lie, she's really fucking attractive because of course she is. Man, these kids now with the teachers, I know it's like an old man thing to say, but these fucking kids, man, they get some fine ass fucking teachers.
Yeah, when I was in high school, I had this teacher named fucking Mrs. Chicken.
Yeah.
I swear to God, she was just like, bro, it wasn't that she was obese, but she was like just this fucking Goliath. Like she looked
tall?
like yeah, dude, like tall and like really like thick, but not in an she wasn't attractive.
Yeah.
But She looked like she could like turn over like fucking drums of oil or some shit.
She could compete in the world's strongest man.
Yeah, yeah, something like that.
Look like the Jolly Green Giant and shit.
Yeah.
All right. A teacher, Olivia Bennett, doxxed online after alleged involvement in bullying of a 12-year-old. And here's the fine-ass teacher right here. And here's the victim/student here. A South Carolina middle school teacher has become the target of a doxing campaign after her alleged involvement in the bullying of a 12-year-old Kalia Turner, who attempted suicide. Oh, she didn't commit suicide. She tried it in 2023. Olivia Grace Bennett, a social studies teacher at Dr. Phineas J. Fisher Middle School.
Phineas and Ferb Middle School.
Yeah, in Greensville, is accused of participating in the cruel treatment of Turner, which the lawsuit claims to led to the girl's severe emotional distress and suicide attempt. The bullying case was exposed in a recent lawsuit filed by Kalia's parents, and it quickly garnered significant attention. In the wake of the lawsuit, social media users unearthed Bennett's personal details, her home address, phone number, and email, spreading them widely across platforms. And here's a tweet. How horrible it would be if somebody leaked Olivia Grace Bennett's, one of the teachers who participate in her bullying, phone number. And there's her cute ass with her email and her phone number blurred out.
All my Starbucks lovers.
That's right. These revelations have prompted many to call for accountability, demanding that both Bennett and the school district face consequences for their actions. Another tweet reads, the teacher, Olivia Grace Bennett, still works at the school and was interviewed saying she wants to foster and adopt in the future. I personally don't think she should be allowed to influence young children in any way, let alone raise someone with her ideals. Just saying. In response, Bennett posted an apology on her Instagram saying, I thought it was just a joke. Here's her apology. I want to sincerely apologize for my actions and how they made you feel. I realize now that what I said, even though I thought it was just a joke, contributed to a situation where you felt hurt and singled out. That was never my intention, but I understand that my intentions don't change the impact my words had on you. As your teacher, my job is to create a safe and supportive environment for everyone, and I'm sorry for falling short of that. I take full responsibility for my mistake and want you to know I'm committed to doing better. If you're open to it, I'd like to talk to you and your mother and understand how I can better support you moving forward. Your feelings and well-being are very important to me. So I want to know what she – okay, here we go. Now we're going to get into the details of the bullying, all right? Shield your children's eyes, everybody. According to the lawsuit, the bullying of Kalea began in 2021 when she started wearing her natural hair to school. Fellow students began calling her derogatory names like Roach and mocking her appearance. The lawsuit claims that Bennett, as a teacher, not only failed to intervene, but also participated in the abuse. When students would ask, where's the Roach?
Oh
Bennett
my God.
allegedly responded, which would some see as an endorsement of the bullying rather than making an effort to stop it. Oh, I'm sorry, man. It's fucking funny. The situation escalated further in 2022 after Kalea's parents tried to move her to a different class to escape the bullying. One of the offenders allegedly intensified the verbal harassment. Rather than addressing the bully's behavior, the school suspended Kalea after she was involved in a fight with a student. That's one thing that even went back to when I was in school. Like, the kid would finally stand up for themselves, and you're suspending the kid who was getting fucking bullied.
Yeah. What
the fuck? The bullying continued with Kalea being subject to a racist video allowed by teacher John Tier. Where are they going to school, bro? Is this like the Jim Crow fucking middle school? What's going on here, man? Allowed by teacher John Tier, and further physical harassment when students poured water on her clothes and then threw them away. Now that's beyond bullying. That's shitty, dude.
Wait. What did they do?
They poured water on her and then threw her clothes away.
What the fuck?
It's weird. Despite the ongoing abuse, the lawsuit asserts that the school failed to take meaningful action to stop it. Feeling increasingly isolated, Kalea attempted suicide on March 17, 2023. Her mother, Ty Turner, recalled finding her daughter unresponsive, with Kalea having been clinically dead for 8 minutes before paramedics revived her. She was left with severe brain damage and remained in a coma for weeks. In response, her parents filed a lawsuit against the Greenville County School District, and several faculty members accusing them of negligence and seeking compensation for medical expenses, therapy, and the emotional toll on their family. They're demanding accountability for the systemic failure to stop the bullying, which they believe ultimately led to their daughter's near fatal suicide attempt. While the district has denied the allegations and claims to have investigated the incidents thoroughly, the case has sparked widespread anger. Many are questioning why Bennett, a teacher entrusted with the care and well-being of her students, would not only allow such abuse to persist, but allegedly contribute to it. The public's outrage has only grown as more details emerge about the case.
Yeah, she shouldn't be allowed around kids like ever again.
No, dude. I mean, yeah, you can't, as a teacher, you can't. I mean, I kind of understand turning a blind eye to bullying, but you can't join in on it, dude. You can't be like, yeah, the roach is in the corner. Like you can't do that.
What's funny is I had a wood shop teacher. The dude that was the wood shop teacher when I was in high school, he was actually he's actually pretty good friends with my dad, because back when I was younger, there's like a country club here, like a golf course, and you have to be a member to like be in it. But my dad was a member, and this wood shop dude was a member, and but there'd be like weak little like pussy soft kids in the class. People would fuck with them, and so we would be like working on a project, like building a fucking birdhouse, and we'd be like halfway done. When we'd be done with the day, we'd put our shit we were working on, we'd put them back in these cabinets. Then the next day, go get them back out. And there was this other like closet, and there was this weird kid that nobody liked, and he was kind of a dickhead. So like I thought it was funny. These two kids like grabbed him and like put him in the closet and locked him in there for like 5 minutes. And then the teacher laughed, and he was like, all right, let him out. But then in that class, when I was taking that class, I turned this saw on or some shit the wrong way, and it like fucked it up for like a day. It did something to it where like you had to get some part. Anyway, he wasn't really mad because like he didn't thoroughly explain it. But then like the next day, like on a Saturday morning, him and my dad were both at the country club golfing, and like playfully he goes up to my dad and he goes, "Well, did you hear what your asshole son did in my class?"
Man, I could do a whole show on bullying with the shit that I partake in. Like, so one time, I'll give you one. One time in high school, this kid, he was trying to sell some weed, but he was like a nerd. Mm-hmm. So we knew that, like, you know, I don't even think the kid smoked weed. He was just trying to be cool. So he brought like mad weed to school, and we all jumped him and stole it. And he went and told on us. So basically, by doing that, he told on himself too. Like,
he essentially incriminated himself. Yeah.
So they brought us all in to like the principal's office. Like I had it on me by the time we all went there, but they were bringing us in one by one. So the first kid would walk out, and I'd be like, "Yo, here, bro," and pass it on to him. And they never caught us. But yeah, dude, we beat his ass in gym class and took his weed, and we just thought that would be the end of it, bro. You know, like who the fuck's gonna go to the principal and be like, "Yo,"
yeah, because that's something like, oh, you can't like, you just gotta take that on the chin, you know?
Right. Yeah, but nah, he went and snitched on us, dude, and.
Or, I mean, you could just not say anything about the weed and, like, say that you got beat up, I guess.
No, right. He was like, they stole my weed. And we ended up getting away with it because, like I said, like, the first kid walked out, and I just passed the weed to him. And he went back to class. They already talked to him, so they're not going to search him again.
Yeah.
You know? But,
when I was in school, there was a lot of kids who were, like, for some reason were dumb enough to always bring weed to school. Like,
yeah.
I don't know why? But I remember, like, there'd be times where, like, they would just like, not because there was anything suspicious going on, but they would literally just, like, randomly bring a drug dog into the school, and then we just like, what we do is it would be at like the entrance of the classroom, and then we just like walk out one by one, and then they'd be like, all right, this class is good because the dog never freaked out, so on to the next one.
Yeah, they used to do that shit, and like you would never know. They do it like twice a year. Like for it wasn't necessarily like a drug dog, but like just they did randomly set up like police. As you were walking in, they search all your shit. Like they go through your bag, your pockets, all that shit. And like you just had to hope and pray that like on the one day they did it, you didn't have anything on you.
Yeah.
But
well,
like,
I never did, but you know,
I mean, like, you could kind of tell like if you were front of the line, you were fucked because you couldn't like turn around and be like, yo, I'm gonna go stash this somewhere. And they'd be like, hey, where are you going? You know what I mean? But like, yeah, if you were like middle of the pack, middle of the line, you can kind of see what's coming, so you can kind of do something. But like, if you're first man in, you're fucked, dude. There ain't shit you can do. You're first man in. You're like, you can't turn around. It just makes you look more suspicious. You know? But all right, guys, go enjoy some football.
Is there
Drink
one
at
more?
home.
Is there one more we had? Or is that it?
Let me see.
We got the teacher, the shit sandwich. Oh, the old lady, the lady. Or no, we went over that. That's my bad. Sorry.
Yeah. No, we're good. Yeah, we're good. So go enjoy some football. Watch it at home. Number one, it's not worth it to go out and drink. Number two, you got these people who start shit with you, right? You don't want to be a Texans fan fighting a Chargers fan at the bar. You guys are drunk.
Yeah. There was this one time, it was, I don't know, years ago. It was right at like the beginning of the Chiefs being great with Mahomes before they won a Super Bowl. And someone like took this video at like the Buffalo Wild Wings here, and there was this gigantic fucking fight between these two huge dudes, and they're like accidentally knocking tables over and shit. And it was a Chiefs and a Patriots fan. And what's funny is like they were guys like you didn't want to fuck with because they were like Hispanic, and like the dudes like shirts were getting like lifted up in the fight, and they had those like stomach tattoos with like the 3 letters, which like definitely means you're like gang / cartel affiliated.
Yeah. Someone you don't want to fuck with. Yeah.
Watch it at home. If you don't have cable, well, all the games are on like Peacock or fucking Prime or some shit anyway.
Paramount Plus and Prime today are the ones.
Oh, no wonder it wasn't showing up on YouTube TV. That's why I was confused earlier.
Yeah. Yep. So it'll be on. All right, guys, go enjoy some playoff football. I'm gonna
stay out of his drink at home. Stay out of his cell.
Yeah, definitely. I wish I was drinking for the first game, but Jordan gave up drinking, so I'm not gonna have alcohol around her. But I'll be drinking for the second game because she's heading out to a show at 7. So I'm gonna go cook some breakfast shit and paint, I guess, later.
Couple little fluffy clouds.
I hope so, man. That's. I'm gonna throw on some Bob Ross, Slob Ross signing off, guys. Stay out of a cell, all right?
Yeah, stay out of a cell.
Later.